tip when doing brakes on a 96 Ford Escort. So your rear parking brake isn't working right. You probably think, oh, the drums still spin, so the shoes aren't stuck to it, right? Well, drums usually don't just stop working. Well, in this situation, the hydraulic lines, or there's like 3 feet missing, but the mechanical brake line, right, for the parking brake, the handbrake. So you think, oh, this line is seized up inside of this line, right? Because there's an inner line inside of this casing. You think, oh, it's seized up in there. No, wrong. You pull the parking brake cable and this gets a tiny bit harder to turn, but it is far from locking the wheel, right? So right there should tell you this cable isn't seized. What happens, and it did this on both sides, granted this thing's been off the road for 17 years, but it's this. So there's this side, this cross bracket right here. I don't know how well you can see it because it's bright out. Try and block it as best I can. This little side bracket right here. Over here, this is your adjuster. This is your adjuster with my pinky finger. It has these little teeth on it. I don't know if you can see that. And then this little piece right here that sticks through the shoe goes through the back to this hook shape right here. It's pulled in a little bit. Let me push it back through. See the... Hold on. It's stuck on something. Hold on. There we go. This big hook. Right here. This... I have my finger between the prongs right now. This, your parking brake cable that's underneath of it, goes over this, and that's how that works. Well, this arm comes through, and that's the other side of this arm. Connects to this, but is meant to move completely freely. Guess what? You can't take the shoe off of this properly if that's seized up. Guess what? That's one of the most common issues with this, I guess, considering I've heard of other people that had this issue and I experienced this firsthand now. What you gotta do is either one, get a big flathead screwdriver or pry bar in here and try and twist these apart. Right here, the best you can. Get these two to come apart so you can get the shoe off. Or try and get this twisted just right. This goes over the hub. This bracket needs to be able to go up over the hub like this. And you need to pull this through this rubber grommet on the back. This rubber grommet sucks. I wasn't able to get it back on the other side, but it's whatever. Probably gonna be people like, oh, you gotta put that back on, you're gonna get road debris and stuff in there. Guess what? It's a drum brake. The rear brakes only do 20% of the braking to 30% of the braking anyways. The fronts do, well, 70% obviously, because 100% math things. But yeah, just don't worry about that stupid grommet. If you can, just pull this whole unit out. You have to take the other shoe off first. But I had to literally take this part on the other side, and I literally had to beat this with this hammer, 3-pound sledge, repeatedly back and forth, and lube it with WD-40 wasn't cutting it. I just literally dumped, now that you can hear me, I literally just dumped 530 motor oil on it, so it was something thicker, and worked it back and forth for probably 5-10 minutes. And then it was loose enough I could just go like this and just hang my hand back and forth, and the end of it would just sway back and forth freely. And that side works now. Also, whenever you're putting these back together and you're putting fresh shoes and or a fresh drum on it, in this case, this drum's like brand new still. There's like no lip on that whatsoever. Make sure that this adjuster is pretty much all the way back. So how it is right now, it needs to go back further than that. Let me hit it a little bit to show you how far it should be. Hold on, I'm gonna set the camera down for a second. There had to loosen it up. So it should be close to that is where it has to be at if you're putting brand new shoes and brand new drums on, or if your drums are brand new. Because if not, it's going to be very tight trying to get this drum on. I had to hit it back and forth, and you also want to make sure this hub face is clean all the way around. Is also good, but make sure that adjuster's in. Make sure this arm moves, and obviously you can test if the cable sees or not by popping it off. It's two 12mm bolts here and here. Of course, one snapped off right there, so I'm gonna have to try and either just pretend I didn't see that or drill it out as best I can and try and get that out of there, do something with it. But you pop this cable off and then just go pull the parking brake lever and see if it moves, and that's how you know your cable's good, because it goes from the handle down one, and then it has like a little cross T piece, and then connects two off of that and heads back. So you can have just one seize on one work and not the other one. Although the way that it's designed, it probably wouldn't grip as well. But I'm pretty much just rambling at this point. This thing is not moving, so might be worth it. Oh, I got it off. I got it to move enough. Never mind. No one cares about your straight pipe Chevy Cobalt. If I offended anyone watching this video, good, I'm glad. Here's problem number 2. Oh, I don't know what these do, what this is, or what that is. I just didn't pay any attention to it, and the drum brakes work, so I'm gonna pretend that they don't exist since they work just fine. Yeah, this thing's been sitting in the field for at least 2 years, and then I don't know where before those 2 years. You're gonna need a lot of WD-40 getting this stuff out of here. Let me grab the right size. Hold on. The right size. Oh, hold on. There we go. The right size. So I don't know how well I'm able to show you this, but I'm gonna hit this with a hammer and show you that it does not move. That should be completely loose for you. You should be able to gently move this with one finger, and it's stuck like that. Because Ford in their infinite wisdom put that style joint on it. It's literally just a through pin with a little freaking clip thing on it. So if you can, I guess, try and wire wheel this, or just wire brush it by hand. Get everything around where it's supposed to rotate at all clean, and just oil the crap out of it. And don't destroy it, obviously, but that's almost 1/4 inch steel, right? Just beat it back and forth with a hammer. It'll loosen up. It's one of the few things that are nice about drum brakes is you can usually be a little bit more aggressive about it. One of the bad things about drum brakes is they're drum brakes, and you do this stuff instead of just, oh, it's a caliper and a rotor. If I, could not have a stroke for 5 seconds. Yeah. Yeah, I just beat it until it twisted in the jaws of the vice grips and didn't even move. So get this loosened up, put it back through there. That grommet will probably pop off, and maybe remove, I don't know what this used to be along here, but we're just gonna pretend we didn't see that. There you go, just go back in there and go to sleep.